Welcome to another great version of Irish Football Weekly here on The Grilling Truth. My name is Josh Benjamin, host of The Real Deal as well. I'm the co-host to my co-host, Tony Hunter, a former tight end for the Irish from 79-82. He's also a first-round draft pick in the NFL draft in the 1983 draft. You can also follow us on our website, thegruelingtruth.net, but tons of other places. You can find us on Stitcher, Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Spotify, just to name a few. So let's jump right in here, Tony. How are you doing on this wonderful Black Friday? By the way, happy Thanksgiving to all of our listeners.
Oh, Josh, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. I tell you what, I outside of probably eating way more than I should have yesterday, I'm doing just fine on this Black Friday. Had a wonderful time with friends and family yesterday, though. Wonderful time.
Absolutely, and yes, definitely trying to recover from yesterday's debacle of eating about 5 plates in about an hour or two. So just trying to get myself back energy-wise and feeling a little bit better. But let's move on here. Let's go. Let's talk about the Irish. Let's talk about last week just very quickly here. It wasn't very much of a game from the very beginning, 36-3, throttle of Syracuse up there in Yankee Stadium, and pretty much everyone contributed. Everyone did pretty well for the most part, and it was a great team win jumping into what I like to call the rivalry week this week, SC week.
Oh, yeah.
So let's move on from Syracuse because there's a bunch of things we could have talked about stat-wise and whatnot, but this week is the biggest week because it's the next week and it's the most important, Tony. So what do you think about SC week, what it means to you?
Oh, it's first of all, I do want that Syracuse game in New York City. The setting was unbelievable. The setting, we're in New York, we're in the Bronx, we're at a converted Yankee Stadium, packed house. We played great football. We dominated that football game. National television. Playing in games like that reminded me of when we played Georgia down in the Sugar Bowl in 84, 85? No. I forget exactly what year it was, but we played Herschel Walker and the Georgia Bulldogs for the national championship down in Florida. The setting for Notre Dame versus Syracuse at the Bronx and Yankee Stadium reminded me of that New Orleans game for the national championship in the Sugar Bowl. Great setting. Glad to see Notre Dame play great football. Now it's time to take on USC. And the last game of the season, Notre Dame's going in undefeated, ranked number 3 in the world of college football. It's a really exciting time of the season. Really exciting. It reminds me when we played when I was at Notre Dame, we had already played. When we played USC, I had never played against USC before. But my freshman year, I had already played in about 5 or 6 Notre Dame games. So I pretty much knew the regimen as far as practice, getting prepped for a game. So we go into the USC, the Monday of the USC game. I go out to practice, and you see these fifth-year seniors and seniors, all the upperclassmen. They're hollering, "It's SC week, it's SC week." The practices, the pace is picked up tenfold. They're flying out there. The upperclassmen are flying out there, running into people, and it's like a game. The practice sessions are like games, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? I tell you what, Josh, we practiced all week, every day like that, going at it like we were in a big game. I couldn't believe it. It was fun, but I couldn't believe how we were practicing. The upperclassmen just didn't practice like that. They knew better. They had to get ready for a game. USC was different. It was a war every day of practice, and come that Saturday, we went out and played USC that same way. and it was one of the most physical games that I had ever been in, and so I see why. So those guys right now up at Notre Dame, I'm pretty sure that tradition has continued. They've been getting after it in practice every day this week, like no other game.
Well, let's talk about this game. It's a game, obviously, of rivalry and past and history and tons of exciting moments. But this year, excuse me, it's a little different. Each team has something going on that they need to accomplish, and the Trojans are 5-6, and they're trying to get bowl eligible, but you need one more win. And what more would it be to beat the number 3 ranked team in the nation and get their bowl bid eligibility available? On the other side, the Irish, number 3, like you mentioned, they win this game. I don't see how they cannot get in the college football playoff.
I don't either. Heck, Notre Dame has beat 4 teams that are still in the top 20 of the rankings, and nobody's even come close to doing that. We beat USC, and we're in the playoffs. And as far as USC is concerned, I have a little history with USC. I was recruited by USC coming out of high school. I don't know if you remember the guy's name, Turner, who coached many, many years in the NFL. I believe I know he's still coaching in the NFL. Well, he was a tight ends coach for USC when I was coming out of high school. And, man, he spent a lot of time in Cincinnati and at my house during that time because John Robinson really wanted me to come to USC. And on my recruiting trip to USC, it was in December in Cincinnati. It was probably 85 degrees out there. I left here and it was probably 10 or 12 degrees. I get out to USC and it's 85 degrees, sunshine, beautiful, beautiful campus, beautiful girls out in California. Man, I'll tell you what, I was a little starstruck by the time I got back home. But then I came to my senses and I decided, I said, man, I've been wanting to go to Notre Dame all my life. And I'm going to go to Notre Dame, and it turned out to be the best decision that I've ever made. But now, USC, the USC-Notre Dame rivalry is big for USC as well. You know, just from talking with the coaches out there at USC on my recruiting trip, you know, they're saying I think they had beat Notre Dame 4 out of 5 previous years while I was out there. And they were always saying, you know, beating Notre Dame is a tradition for USC, and you know that's a big game. And if USC beats Notre Dame, believe me, that will make their season. Their recruiting will pick up. It'll just be a giant feather in their cap. But Notre Dame has everything to play for. Notre Dame has everything to play for. We'll finish an undefeated season. I don't know when the last time that's happened. And I'm pretty sure that we'll get into the playoffs if we do it. But we have everything to play for. And the way Notre Dame has been playing all year long, I think we'll be ready to play football, and we'll be ready to take care of business.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that what Syracuse's head coach said after that game last week is that this is the best defensive team in the nation. And we've kind of bragged about them all throughout the year, and different guys have led with their secondary, the linebacker core, or the defensive line. Everyone's done their job so well as a team. And, of course, you have some guys that are going to have spotlights like Coney and help me out here, Tony, Tranquil, and those guys have really been a spotlight, but really the defensive team has played so well as a unit.
Oh, yeah.
Props to that coaching staff.
I can remember when Brian Kelly got hired to Notre Dame, one of the first statements he made, he said, whatever happened to the great Notre Dame defense? Whatever happened to the great Notre Dame defense? And you know what? I think this is the best defense that he's had since he's been at Notre Dame. And I think that's going to be the difference if we face an SEC team. SEC, I mean, they still have 7 teams that are in the top 20, by far the best of any other conference. But I think what Notre Dame is doing this year defensively, they've been flying around. They've been playing physical football all year long. And I think that's the biggest difference. The last time we played Alabama in a bowl game, I was kind of iffy on that because I didn't think we were playing the physical type football that they play in the SEC. That's different this year. I think we're playing physical on both sides of the football, and I think we can compete with SEC teams this year.
Yeah, and we talked about that defensive side there, how great it's been, and we kind of need to brag about the offense just a little bit in the fact that they had Brandon Wimbush. They did well with him. They moved on. They brought Ian Book off the bench, and he's done pretty well. I mean, he's second nationally in completion percentage at 72.6%, and he's 7th in passing efficiency. So he's done really well as far as coming in and being that leader, being that quarterback that they've wanted, and that the surrounding guys, that Dexter Williams, for example, you got tons of weapons on that offense that have come in and just been really, really nice compliments to that offense to make that thing gel.
Yeah, no question about it. And I think Ian Book and Dexter Williams are generating a lot of interest from NFL scouts. And I think Dexter Williams is a senior. Ian Book, I believe he's a junior this year. Mm-hmm. So he's eligible. Or he'll be a junior next year. But either way, he's eligible for the NFL draft. And I think those two are going to generate a lot of interest for NFL teams. So, man, if Book wants to win a national championship, now is the time to do it.
Absolutely. And playing a SC team that isn't, record-wise, I should say, played their best this year. I mean, the record goes out the window, in my opinion, in this game. And I know it's some kind of cliche that has been said before, but it really has to because, I mean, just like any other year, one of these teams is usually competing for something pretty special and or competing for that rivalry bragging rights. And I think that this year is going to be a very, very tough game for both sides and both on all sides of the football when it comes to offense, defense, etc.
Oh, yeah, for the USC game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's always my senior year we played against USC, and I'm thankful that it was on national television, ABC, and I was selected as the most valuable player for that game. And my senior year, and we won the game. Tell you what, Josh, we felt 10 feet tall. After winning that game, I know it was my last game at Notre Dame, for Notre Dame, and to be selected as the most valuable player by NBC, it was just a really special feeling for me because, I think that's what it came down to me as far as recruiting was concerned coming out of high school. Notre Dame or USC. USC had promised me that I'd possibly be in let's put it this way. They just made all kind of promises, as they do probably with all recruits. So, but I'm glad I went to Notre Dame. I'm glad I decided to go to Notre Dame, and being named MVP in that game really was a special feeling, and it really capped my Notre Dame career, and it was really special.
Well, this past month, essentially, the Irish have traveled all over the place.
I can barely hear you. I can barely hear you.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. My voice is not too great. How about now? Are we good to go?
Yeah, much better.
Okay. So what I was saying was the last month or so, maybe even 5 weeks, the Irish have traveled all over the country. They've traveled to San Diego, Chicago, New York, and now L.A. Of course, they had that home game with Florida State. And travel takes a toll on you, and I'll explain to our listeners what I mean by that for my personal self. So last weekend, I traveled to Las Vegas on Thursday evening, and the time change with and actually the reason why I went there is a competitive slow-pitch softball tournament, which I know that's crazy to think about it being competitive, but there is things out there such as that. So I had to travel there and play a tournament, and the time frame with the time zone change and how that works. I mean, I was starting a game at 1 a.m. Eastern time and almost about 10 p.m. Vegas time. And so I can feel for these guys a little bit. I obviously didn't travel as much as they do each week and whatnot. So I think that's going to take a little bit of a toll, maybe just a little bit, because that's almost 8,000 miles of travel for them in the last month or so. And as student athletes, that's got to take somewhat of a toll on them, and that might be an advantage Southern Cal has on the Irish a little bit, I would think.
Well, as I think back on my college days, the travel didn't really bother me that much, especially if you're leaving South Bend in the winter, where it may be 15 or 20 degrees, and you're going to California. So we always look forward to that Miami trip, the California trip in the winter. But I think our biggest travel day was the Miyaka Bowl, which was played in Tokyo, Japan. My freshman year, I believe that was. That was 13 hours straight, all water from San Francisco to Tokyo. That was now that kind of traveling makes a difference. But I think the guys are looking forward to jumping on a plane, going to California, getting to some California sunshine, and there's so much more to play for. There's a national championship to play for right now. So I don't think that'll be a factor. We'll see, but I don't think it'll be a factor. Travel. Guys just have too much to play for. They play too well.
Yeah, I agree. I hope not as well. And like you said, they have so much on the line, and I think that staying focused, staying on the eye of the prize, as I like to call it, it's so important to finish this strong, so they have some weeks off where they can get some rest and get recovered a little bit, because it will be, several weeks, almost probably even a month after they win this game to be in that college football playoff game, that first game. So a ton of time between now and then, but obviously with tomorrow's game, which is on ABC against the Trojans out there in L.A., Coliseum, which is always a great venue, like you mentioned, they got to take care of business, and I think they will. And so let's do role reversal a little bit here. Instead of let's jumping into three toughest picks, let's go straight into Irish prediction. We'll come back to that college football or the three toughest picks. So let's jump right into our prediction time here on our show, Irish Football Weekly. So, Tony, I'm gonna let you go first. I'm gonna give you honors here. What do you think, score-wise, a couple things that may be important within this game?
Well, I think it's important that we continue to both run and throw the football. I think it's important that we come out and that we're aggressive. I think it's important that we're impressive in this win against USC. Because I think the momentum, it's important that we keep our momentum going into the playoffs. I would hate to see us play a lackluster game and still win it. I'd like to see us play at our peak and win this game. But I think Ian Book needs to come out and spread his passes around to different receivers. I think Dexter Williams needs to come out and continue to run hard and have a big game, keep his confidence level high, and to give whatever playoff team that we're going to play against, give them some film to look at him and prepare for him running the football so that gives Ian Book even more room to throw the football, because he can definitely beat you with his arm. So those are the things. I think defensively, and I think we will, because we've done it all year, just keep playing physical football. Just keep playing physical football, and we'll be just fine.
What score do you have for this week, Tony?
I say I'm going to take Notre Dame with 40 points. I think we put up 40. And I think USC comes in at about 17 points. I see it as a blowout. Notre Dame 40, USC 17.
All right, so you heard it here, folks. 40-17 by Tony. Yeah, gave some awesome ideas on what basically, and I'm kind of steal some of them, basically, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of attitude. To stay on the track, to stay focused, that defensive unit to stay playing as a team and playing tough. And the offense, just be able to distribute the ball. Obviously, you need to block for that, those different guys. And so kind of just staying on that track, that what they've been going through. So I'm going to take the Irish. And actually, my score was in before yours. I can type it in here and see how we fare against each other. And my score is 35-17.
Okay.
Irish over USC. So pretty similar thoughts. And so I think that one thing that they have to worry about, because, USC has nothing to lose here. They're going to play extra loose. They're going to probably bring everything out of the playbook, trick plays, different things that's going on the special team side even. So they have to be really focused and aware of what their surroundings are going into this game, and I'm sure that coaching staff will do so. So moving on here to our three toughest picks. 2 weeks ago when we had our last show, I was one game up. I decided to take a risk on Boston College and Clemson. I took Boston College, and now here we sit tied. Our records are 14-10, Tony. So
wow,
we are tied, and we have some really good matchups this week, of course, with rivalry week.
Oh yeah.
So let's jump right in here. Let's go to the one that I think we're both intrigued about to begin with. Number 4, Michigan at number 10, Ohio State.
Oh my God, Michigan has been a big surprise for me this year. We beat them earlier. We beat them convincingly. But Michigan has been playing some outstanding football, and that's evident by where they're picked right now. They're number 4 in the country. This is going to be a big game. I think it's going to be in Columbus. It's going to be at Ohio State. I think this is the best chance Jim Harbaugh has had to beat Ohio State. Since he's been at Michigan, he hasn't beaten Ohio State yet. This is his best chance. And they've been playing some excellent football the last half of the season. I think, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think Michigan goes into Columbus and beats Ohio State. It's been a tough year for Ohio State. A lot of controversy earlier in the season. There's a lot of people that think this may be Urban Meyer's last game in Columbus because of that controversy that happened early in the season with the ex-assistant coach and his domestic issues that he had. And then to throw in that Ohio State really had a mediocre season as far as Ohio State standards are concerned. But there are some people that think that this may be it for Urban Meyer, especially if he loses to Michigan. And I think he will. I'm going to take Michigan 28-21 to beat Ohio State.
All right. You took Michigan, and I think, along with you, this would be the best time and probably the only time that Michigan could beat Ohio State under Harbaugh's coaching tenure. So I'm going to take Michigan as well, and I think that, I think no matter what Urban Meyer's done, but that's just me. And
do you really? That's
interesting. So. I think so. I just think with the controversy, like you mentioned, and I don't know about his health, but if that's been a factor, I know they've shown some clips of him on the sideline bent over and the team being down away from him. So wow. I think the controversy, I think the way the season panned out a little bit, and then with his health, I think he's done. I really do. I think he's.
It reminds me of the Bob Huggins situation when he was unexpectedly released or unexpectedly booted as head coach of the University of Cincinnati when he had that controversial situation, I think, with the DUI. I think it was the president. Was it the president that really wanted him out, or certain board members that really wanted him out? Sometimes you have those situations where there's people that are sitting in places that can affect whether or not you keep your job. Certain things that happen that they'd rather see somebody else in that position. It's just the Urban Meyer situation is reminding me of the Bob Huggins situation. But we'll see.
Yep, definitely. And I think you were right. I think it might have been the president of that university. But I think so too. So we both have Michigan there. And our next game, Big 12 matchup here, number 6 Oklahoma travels to number 13 West Virginia.
West Virginia is tough. Yeah, West Virginia. Oklahoma. Wow. At West Virginia.
West Virginia, that's correct.
That's a tough one. I'm gonna have to go West Virginia in the mountains of West Virginia. I hate to go against Oklahoma anytime though, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say West Virginia at home.
All right, he takes West Virginia. I'm taking Oklahoma on the road. Yeah, I mean, they're still somewhat in the playoff picture here for college football playoff, and I think they win this game. This could help their credentials as long as some people lose up there. But with Murray at the quarterback position and that offense, they put up a lot of points all the time, and I'm going to take Oklahoma on the road there. So both have different ones in. That could be the difference in our record there, Tony.
I know. And believe me, I hate to go against Oklahoma because they're always so loaded with great athletes and good football players. But I'm gonna go with West Virginia at home.
All right. Well, we have our last one here. It's an in-state rivalry. Number 6 Washington travels to number 8 Washington State.
Wow. UW against Washington State. Wow. And what is Washington ranked? Do you know? Are they ranked?
Washington is number 16, and Washington State is number 8.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go with Washington State. Washington State, and it's there. It's at Washington State, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Washington State for that one.
All right. I'm going to take them as well. And they've been surprisingly good. Not that that's a huge thing, but, I mean, Washington isn't really known, whether it's Washington or Washington State, they don't get as much coverage or credit, I guess I should say, for their football play. And they're all the way up there in the west corner there, but northwest corner. So we both have Washington State, we both have Michigan, and we both split ideas on Oklahoma, West Virginia. So that game will determine probably whoever wins this year, which it was to be my first year if I did win. I have a speech prepared for that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. So we
have a trophy made up and everything. So
yeah, I have it typed up, ready to go, just in case. I've held on to it for about 3 years now, Tony. So I'm waiting to use it. So,
okay. All right.
Well, listeners, I didn't get a chance to mention this, but if you follow us on Facebook, you can search Irish Football Weekly. You can find us and follow us. And actually, over the past probably 5 to 6 weeks, we've gathered more and more followers and people commenting on different things that we've posted on there. So continue to follow, and those newbies, go ahead and jump on there and follow us on there. But that kind of wraps up our show for Irish Football Weekly. Don't forget to check out our website, thegruelingtruth.net, which has multiple shows, not just Irish Football Weekly, such as my show, Real Deal, and other shows to your liking in different sports. You can find us on Stitcher, Spreaker, Google Music, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and tons of other media places on the Internet. So we jump into SC Week this week. We talk a little bit about that, talk about some different memories that Tony's had, and we hope to come back on our show soon and talk about the college football playoff and get ready for that as the Irish take up and defend themselves and be able to compete for that national title. So that kind of does this for our show today. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter if you get a chance to, @CoachJB4, and I've already mentioned our Facebook page there, so you can follow us on that. So for my co-host, Tony Hunter, this is Josh Benjamin signing off for Irish Football Weekly. Go Irish! Peace.